Climate 10 Commandments have been revealed. I'm going to get into that and the ceremony that took place. Very prophetic in many different ways, and the Bible has a lot to say about what just happened. In case anyone's unaware, what's going on is November 6th to the 18th is something called COP27, a United Nations gathering for climate change. And this year it has a main focus on the religions of the world coming and how they're going to teach their different religions about how we really need to mainly be focusing on climate change and man-made climate change. And part of this event that's taking place is these religions decided to get together and meet at what is widely believed to be Mount Sinai. I know many people don't believe that what they claim to be Mount Sinai is, and it's in a different location, but they believe that it's at this Mount Sinai where Moses received the original first commandments, and they were going there to have a mock ceremony of their own for their new Climate 10 Commandments. Now, before I read what the new Climate 10 Commandments are, I want to point out what took place in the ceremony, because it's almost as insane as bringing forth a new 10 Commandments. This article is from the Times of Israel, and it says, activists smash tablets atop Mount Sinai to launch faith-based climate push. So for anyone who's unaware, when Moses first received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai, he came down from the mountain with them, saw the Hebrews down there worshiping a golden calf that had been made in replace of God, and Moses was so upset that he threw down the 10 Commandments and smashed them. So they did a mock ceremony of this, and within this article, it explains what was on the tablets, and it says one of the tablets was made by youth from the Israeli branch of Strike for Future, printed with the words broken promises in Hebrew. The other tablet was painted green to symbolize the green commandments. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And it really almost seems as if it's like out with the old, in with the new. Get rid of the old commandments, we'll smash these tablets and come in with the new. Broken promises. I mean, that's insane. And of course, they'll probably say that it's broken promises, I guess, in relation to governments letting us down, not implementing as much policies for us to lower carbon emissions. But it seems pretty strange, doesn't it, when it says broken promises on a mock tablet of the 10 Commandments, almost as if those commandments are broken promises and that we're going to implement our new commandments now. And with all these different religious leaders involved in this ceremony, it's pretty strange to just see that happening. Here's another article from the Times of Israel, and it says multi-faith leaders to gather in Israel and around the world for climate repentance. Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, and Buddhists from Israel, Egypt, and the US, India, Spain, and the UK plan to gather on Sunday around the world to call for global leaders to act on climate repentance and to implement 10 climate principles. And this interfaith gathering together really just makes one think of Revelation 13:15, where we know the entire world one day will worship the Antichrist and his image. All religions, all peoples will come together, and we're starting to see this now, and the reason right now is for climate repentance. And with just the different wording that's being used, such as new climate, new commandments, green commandments, we need a new covenant, these are the types of words and the types of things being said, which really just points more to an interfaith gathering, really looking to set up the stage and to set up the groupings and the one world type of unity that is going to be needed for the Antichrist to be worshipped and followed. I've got two more pretty important things to point out here, and then I'll read what the new 10 commandment list is. And the first is a quote from that first article, and it says, "Today, as faiths put aside their differences in a common call for climate action, we work towards a new covenant for mankind in the name of the protection of our common home and for the betterment of our shared human future." And that's what somebody said on a video link from the COP27 conference. So again, these are the strange wordings that are being used: broken promises, new 10 commandments, new covenant. These are things to realize that they're using, because these are the types of things that are really just going to move the world again to the Revelation 13, one world control, one world religion. And we need to make sure that we're watching when these types of things are being set up. And this second to last paragraph in that first article is just crazy what it has to say. And this is what I mean when I say the Bible has a lot to say about all of this that's going on. That paragraph talks about how they actually couldn't meet at the Sinai location. Egypt wouldn't allow them. And so listen to what this has to say. Instead, the new Sinai Climate Partnership will be officially announced Sunday night from a ceremony on Parliament Hill, the highest point in London. Ceremonies are also planned for high points in Jerusalem, Salt Lake City, Ecuador, Australia, and India's Mount Abu, in Rajasthan, and in Calcutta, and at Mount St. Francis, a Catholic retreat center in Indiana. And for anybody who has read through the Old Testament, that should come off as strange that they're meeting at all the high places around the world.